computer. Hey everybody, this is NFT Eve Hennessy, and I'm here today with my Tokaya Eva Evely, and she's an NFT artist from the Czech Republic, and she's living in Malaysia right now. How are you doing today?
I'm very good. Thank you for inviting me. It's really nice being here.
Yeah, the reason my light just went dim. That was weird. The reason that I really reached out to you is because you were on the Spaces for Introverts, and you were saying, oh, I feel like I have a multiple personality disorder because I do so many different things. That I'm like, yeah, that's exactly who I am. And we have the same name. And I just thought, some of the things that you were talking about were so interesting. So tell me about your multiple personality disorder.
No, I think I feel like there is so many things that are interesting. So I always feel like because you see movies and TV shows and everything, and it's always like that person has this like, oh, this is my thing. And I go like, oh yeah, that's my thing. And then that's another thing is like, oh, that's also my thing. And then you're like, how many things can one person have? And then you realize that like every single day you come upon a thing and you go like, oh, this is so interesting. And then you go down the rabbit hole and trying to figure it out and, learn something, and then it's something else. And it's not that you forget about the previous thing, it's just still there, but you just keep topping up with other things. And it's just sometimes like feels that I have multiple personalities, but they're kind of all at the mic at the same time. Yeah. It's not like they're even sharing. It's just not like, okay, today it's me, and no, it's just all of them trying to like compete over the limited space that is me.
Wow. And, no, I totally relate to that. Like I am exactly the same way. And I finally just gave into it. I used to be like, people are like, oh, you should focus on one thing. I mean, I do have a master's degree in sculpture. And like the thing is, I'm very good at my stuff because I just go all the way in, so I could have like 5, 6 different professions and do well at any one of them. But I just can't I can't stop doing them. So I really relate. Like I actually have a dance channel. I'm a dancer. I got into kickboxing, but I got injured, but I was so obsessed with like Thai boxing. They have that over there where you are, right?
Yeah, Muay Thai.
Yeah, Muay Thai. Yeah, I still might go to Malaysia sometime and do that. When I got like seriously injured, I was assaulted, but
yeah, then careful about that. But yeah, definitely. Hey, come over. Yeah. Like definitely, yeah. I'll show you around. If you come over, just hit me up and.
Oh, I will, because it's yeah. So I was really relating to you and your name. I was like, well, maybe this is a characteristic of the Eves, of the Evas, because sometimes I do feel like, okay, I'm representing the first woman, and maybe the first woman was just so expanded and so broad that we have a different way of being. Like I finally just gave in to doing whatever I want to do when I want to do it and let myself go with my passions. Thank God I got super like obsessed with crypto, because that's a good thing to be obsessed with.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's like when I started with photography, it was, I got my first DSLR in 2009. Before that, I had those little cameras. And when I was little, my mom actually had this old Russian camera. It's called Lyubitel, which means explorer in Russian. And it's the top looking one, the one that you just look like this in and see everything.
Yeah.
Two lens one. So you need to do everything manually. And it's, I mean, even like exposure and everything, because what you see is not a digital viewfinder, is an actual viewfinder, just glasses and mirrors.
Wow.
So she explained to me how to do those things when I was little, and then you kind of get out of it a little bit when you get older, because puberty hits and other things happen. And then I got into photography again in 2009, and I immediately went like, okay, all in. So DSLR and changing lenses and all that, and I have fairly small hands, so I didn't want to have a big camera. So I went with Pentax rather than the typical Canon or Nikon that most people go with, because it just fit in my hand perfectly. Uh, and I went and I actually bought it in US. It was my first time when I visited US. So I got it in B&H Photo in New York.
I've been there too.
the,
Amazing.
the
Yeah.
most famous photo shop
Yeah.
in East Coast US. And then I went on and I just took pictures of everything, landscapes, minimalist things, like, because I immediately got obsessed about everything photography. It wasn't like, okay, this is my photography and I'm doing this one thing. I went like, oh, this is amazing. Oh, and this is so interesting. Oh, and what about that? So I immediately started doing all the stuff. So right now in NFT, what I'm presenting myself at the beginning is my self-portrait. I'm using myself as a model because I feel like if I have an idea, I'm the one person who can personify it the best because it's in my head. And I think that's probably a little bit of a control freak thing, because I then control both sides of the process. I control the camera, I control myself, the pose, the whatever I'm trying to do, and then the post processing and everything. So I started with doing those, and those are more like explorations of
Oh,
ideas.
hey, maybe you can put some of them up on the
Yes,
screen.
I'll
Because
show you
I
some.
seen one,
Let's
it was
share
gorgeous.
this screen. Yes.
Yeah, you know what? I love there's like a saying, the great thing about being an artist is you get to control the process and do wow.
Yeah, so this one
Wow.
is it's basically it's frustration. It's the scream into the void
Mm.
where like everything comes out of you, and you just like, there are some moments when you can't explain things away. You just want to scream. You just want to go like ah, like, well, much more than that. That screaming, that was very called out, but yeah, it's that sort
Wow.
of expression of feelings.
Is
Then
that on
I have
OpenSea? Are these on OpenSea or?
I will be slowly minting those. I only minted 3 so far because I kind of felt like I shouldn't overwhelm it, but maybe I actually should express more. I
Mm.
think because to give people the idea what I'm actually doing and what the whole thing is about.
Well,
So
that
this
one
one,
photo is very powerful. I mean,
yeah,
so
this one is
powerful.
called stress. So it's the, like, you feel the overwhelm on all edges and everything, and you're just blurring yourself away. Uh, and then the very colorful one that I actually minted already, which is this one. Uh, that's to me like I called it art head, because it's kind of like that the feeling like colors and art and everything is just sprouting out of your brain and outside to the world and
Mm.
splattering everything. And it's also a feedback because it comes back onto you from all the other artists, and because it's we are, none of us is one person. None of us is, as they say, no man is an island. Uh, we are all, even if when people go like, oh, I don't have any inspiration, everyone has an inspiration, because even if you're not really aware of it, you have it. You see things around you and they somehow affect you. And then that goes into your psyche, your internal machine works with it, and it comes out with something other. So we all have that sort of feeling. I'll share one more image with you. So
Wow.
right now, and that's basically it's like deer in a headlight, but it's that feeling of fear and being overwhelmed, but standing your ground, kind of like you're standing still, things are happening, but you will do it, you will go through, like you will not disappear, you're here to stay.
Yeah, you're not retracing backwards, just like
Yeah,
a
you're
deer, like you're,
retracing back.
that's very powerful. Yeah.
So I'll stop share for a bit, and then I can share some other stuff throughout the interview. So yeah, so this is the part of my self-portraits and the journey that I'm trying to express the ideas and the feelings and what goes in my head about the world and everything. And I use the female form. I do have some photos that are nude or nudish. But it's not. It's never erotic. It's not supposed to evoke erotical feelings because it's not about that. It's basically using the form of a human, in this case, a female, as what it is, because we all are inside our bodies. And yes, they are erotic in certain settings, and as well they should be, but they're also so much more. They give us a home to the mind and soul and whatever you want to call it. It doesn't really matter. It's what, because you are not just your body, you are also your mind, you are your feelings, but the body is also really important. And it's a beautiful thing in all its shapes and forms. So sometimes I just want to show the form as the play of light and dark, and like how it creates the shadows and how it reflects
Yeah.
light.
Yeah, I love to see that one photo. The one that I saw was one of those. It was very beautiful.
Oh yeah, that's
very-
the one. Okay, let me find that one for you.
Yeah, that was gorgeous.
That's the one that I that's the what I it's the female form from the female perspective. Let me find that one.
Yeah, no, I'm very moved by your earlier photos because it's, you're really expressing a lot of emotions with yourself, which is, I've never seen a photo like that of your scream. It's really super powerful.
Okay, so I'm gonna share my screen again.
Oh, everybody smash the likes. I forget to keep mentioning this, but everybody needs to smash the likes.
Yes, smash them,
And put a
all of them.
comment because it's good for her algorithm. That
Yes,
is, yeah, that
please.
is just so beautiful.
This is the it's called Illuminated.
Uh-huh.
And it basically just shows the form, but it's not supposed to be erotic. It's and I made sure that it doesn't really show anything, but it's not
Mhm.
a modesty thing, because I also don't believe in modesty. I think that a human body is beautiful as it is, but it doesn't necessarily need to be erotic. But even if it is in its settings, it's completely fine.
Yeah, it's more like it's like a woman. It's like very feminine because it's a woman's body, but it's like very thoughtful. You can feel
Yes.
that she's thinking. She's not just like, hey,
Yeah,
but she's
exactly.
very.
I like to play with the, like, for example, the fingers that go down around the I don't know if you can see the
arm.
mouse,
Yeah.
but here the fingers, it's the light, how it touches them, so they're really light and really dark at the same time. It the shadows that create on the belly here, on the knees, on the arms, in the clavicle on one side, on the cheekbones. It's literally just the form of a body, and you can use this even as a study for drawing, for example.
I know,
like
it's beautiful. Yeah, I'm a
so
trained visual artist, so yeah,
yeah,
like
so,
I'm totally
so
noticing the light.
that was the idea
Uh-huh.
behind this photo, is purely visual,
Uh-huh.
but not erotic female form from the female perspective, because it's me, I'm a female. And so that's how I like, that's my kind of process. So sometimes it's purely visual, sometimes it has deeper meanings when it's an interpretation of an idea of what one wants to have, like, I actually will show you one more.
Yeah, I like
that
this. I like this photo. It's like very strong, but very centered, but very soft, but very thoughtful. Like it really shows so much of of a woman, you know, what a woman can be, you know.
Yeah, thank you, I appreciate that. So I have this one that's kind of quirky, but I really like it. It's
Oh my God, that's so awesome. You are so creative. That's amazing.
so there are every single photo, even the tiniest
Oh
one,
my God, I've never seen anything
it's
like
a
it.
different photo, and it's always like interacting with the photo above itself. So it's this was, I don't have a one single word for as a name for it. It's called My Self Portraits Are Starting to Live Their Own Life.
That's really
So
great.
it's kind of like the thing, because I was doing so many self portraits that it sometimes felt like it's not even me anymore,
Mm,
or it's part of me. It's the other personalities that come up in specific photos. That just, so this one was just kind of like, hey, I'm seeing you, I know you. You're the one part of me. So that's the uh
I love the tones. I love the tonality of the blacks and the grays in that. It's really beautiful. I mean, I really like everything about it, but I love just so beautifully made. Are you still shooting on film at all?
I'm now using a mirrorless photo, so I'm not doing, because it's really hard to get photos developed here, and I don't have my own place big enough to do my own photography, and I just don't want to put it into like a Nikon photo lab for $2 a whole film, because it's not going to be the same thing. So I'm using digital, and
Mhm.
I'm not using DSLR anymore. I'm using mirrorless right now for my photos. So it's kind of like the evolution of the photography. But I still love people who do and photos that are taken with film photography. But when it's film, I actually kind of like the old cameras, the one that have the most flaws,
Mm.
because I think that because digital is perfect in a sense, you know what I mean? Like, is like the pixels and everything is just as is. But the old flaw cameras that have some little quirks in them, I think that it feels like it's another artist working with you on that photo,
Oh,
because the
lovely.
camera adds its own character, because it's always going to do its little thing to that photo, and you never can expect what exactly it's going to do to the photo. It's kind of like, well, it's a collaboration, I guess, in this sense. So I do love it, but I haven't done it in quite some time now. So, and I think that um, if I ever go back to, I will just go and buy some really old camera, you know, from like a secondhand store that's you know, and has all the flaws and quirks to it, just to enjoy that little thing. Because yeah, it's what I like about film cameras. It's I actually think, does my mom still have that really old
You
Lubitel?
gotta
Is
get
it
the
old?
original one, and then you'll like connect in with your childhood and your
With my
mom
childhood? I'm
and
actually
your
thinking if
in
my
the
mom
Czech
still has
Republic. Is
it.
that where you grew up, in the Czech Republic?
Yeah, I grew up in this. I didn't grow up in Prague. I moved there for university, but I grew up in this small town in Czech Highlands. Uh, so it's all woods and stuff. It's a tiny town. It's like 6,000 people only, and it's around, and it's highlands. So there are hills and everything, and little streams and woods and fields and stuff like that. So it's really pretty there. So I think I'm going to have to dig through when I go visit my mom again, after, you know, the COVID whole thing is possible to travel again, to go and dig through her stuff if she still has that old Vitel, because that would be amazing if she still did have that.
Did you ever see that movie, The Unbearable Lightness of Being?
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
that's like in Prague, and the girl is a photographer.
yeah.
That's how it
Yeah,
starts.
it's based on a book from a Czech author,
Yeah,
although he
Milan
lives in
Kundera.
Milan Kundera, although he lives in France. and then most of his books were in French. But this was the whole. I do love Prague. Like I moved to Prague when I was 18 to go to uni, and I adore that city because it's for a city. It's small. Like it has like 1 million people,
Mhm.
and and you can walk everywhere, and it's so. But it has such history because like the oldest building that still stands there is from the year 900,
Wow.
and then you have it all the way till today, and all the architectural styles are just living next to each other and blending with each other. So it's an amazing place.
Wow.
And it's amazing place to just go and like even I always say that Prague is a place where you need to look up because all the buildings, the architecture of it has so many. So you just see the buildings like, oh, it's pretty, but when you look up, then there are like some incredible stuff on the balconies. Like they have
Mhm.
like or different uh, pictures or frescoes of stuff like that. So every time you walk through the street, just look up because it's always something new and something amazing. So.
Wow. What did you study in university?
Uh, yeah, I have that's, I think, again, my multiple personality thing because I studied psychology,
Mhm.
and I ended up working in IT as a system administrator. So, you know, it's everything again. It's, I never gave up on psychology, but I never made it my day job because I think I feel like I would be bad at it, but not because I would not be able to help people, but because I think I would take their problems too personally,
Yeah,
and
I think
kind of
that's a rough
I
job.
would
Yeah.
destroy myself with it because you do need to have a separation. Like you need
Mhm.
to take them like, okay, this is your problems. I'm going to help you with them, but at the end of the day, they're your problems, and I'm
Mm.
leaving. And I think that my personality doesn't actually do that or is capable of doing. So I would end up just like obsessing over other people's problems and just completely destroy myself. Whereas with the computers, you can punch them. That's the best thing you can like work. And
What are your other personalities that we haven't hit on yet?
oh, okay. Uh, well, I have a really lazy one that just doesn't want to do anything
Mm,
ever, just lays on a couch and watches Netflix. That's one
nice.
of them. Uh, then I have one which loves to garden. So I like to grow things and get my hands dirty. So I'll grow all plants. So I will always go. I think I have that from my mom because my mom does this where she
Mhm.
goes and she eats a fruit somewhere, like travels and goes like, oh, that's an interesting, and keeps the seeds, goes home and then plants it. But because she travels quite a lot, she sometimes ends up with a lot of seeds and completely forgets what they are. So
Wow.
then she puts it there and then just watches what's going to grow out of that because, like, I don't remember what that was.
That's pretty cool. Yeah. Yeah, I'm very connected to the earth myself. Like I tell you, I
Yeah,
go every day now and I like just pick plants around the neighborhood and come back and eat them, drink them. It's
yeah, that's
very
absolutely,
important for me to be connected to the earth.
yeah, that's absolutely amazing to be
I
honest.
rinse
Like,
them
I
off, of
love.
course. This is like mugwort,
Okay,
really.
what does that taste like?
Tastes like herbs. It's a lot of herbs, little plants. And now I'm really into it. This is just a total sidetrack, but because they have so many more nutrients because they're wild crafted and they're
Mhm.
herbs. So I'm like, that way I don't have to eat 10 tons of vegetables. I just eat these, which are very packed and they all have different medicinal properties. Like also a
Yeah,
lot of the plants that are in our environment, for one, they say are the plants that can heal whatever is the issue that we're having, you know. And then for another thing, a lot of the weeds were brought, at least the United States, they were either brought by the people who came over as their medicinal plants and planted all over, or also Native Americans. So a lot of our weeds are actually cultivated, you
mm,
know, before,
yeah,
because they're so healthy and medicinal. So a lot of the stuff that you're just seeing around, you know, back in the old days, that was really their medicine. So
Yeah, yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah.
how did you get into NFTs?
Actually, through a friend of mine.
Hmm.
He's an artist, and he's a visual digital artist. And he saw a couple of my things, and he's like, "You're good. Like, you should do things." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, I'll think about it." And then we actually did a collaboration on one project where he was like, "Okay, like, I really want to do collab with you because you have this weird ideas, and like, like you use yourself, and I can use, like, we can do photos, and then I mix it with." And so what we did is we took photos of me in specific, like we had ideas what the photo is about, as in like it's always a commentary on some social issue. On There is one on homelessness, there is one on the of people not caring about anything around themselves, and just kind of see it as a like, even war is basically entertainment at this point and stuff like that. So this sort of ideas. So we took the photos, and he did. We both had the same photos. We decided which one of each set we take, and then we both did completely different versions, like our own style of that photo. So there is 12, I think, 12 or
Oh,
14.
I want to do the same thing with you.
Well, that would be really
I
cool.
got to show you. I have myself as a lot of in photos as well. I wasn't a photographer, but I was a performance artist and dancer. So I have like also myself.
Yeah. So yeah, so with him, we did that. It's on my Flickr somewhere. Sorry, my Flickr, on my Instagram. There are, like, my Instagram is a mess of everything. It's kind of my multiple personality thing. So there is everything there.
Yeah,
So
mine
there's
too. I want to
photos,
see yours. Yeah, 'cause sometimes I get criticized for that. You know, oh,
there is.
you
You should focus one thing. Yeah, I can't.
I don't feel like it.
Yeah, so
Period. You know.
so I have so it's a there are like past about 10 photos are just sunsets from my balcony, because I couldn't go anywhere, so it's just sunsets from my balcony, but I have really nice sunsets. So I took pictures of that, but then we did this collaboration, and we both did so when you find I'll give you the link for my Instagram, so if you scroll through that, you can't miss that collaboration. It's very specific. It's very different to everything else I have posted on that. And each of the photos has a link to my friend and to his page, so you can then also see his take
Yeah,
on the
what's his
same.
name?
His name is Gassan Akel.
Okay.
And so he started with NFTs long time ago because he's a professional artist. He's a full-time artist. So he was the one who just kind of, come on, do it, do it, do it. So here I am.
Yeah, you really bring a lot to the space. I mean, your work really is, I've never seen work like your work. It's very beautiful, very original, very thought-provoking, expressive, emotional, you know, thoughtful, really.
I'm also hoping then I will create another collection, maybe that I will also expand on the other things I like to photograph, like I like my landscapes and maybe some minimalist stuff from my travels and everything, because I would feel like I cheated something in myself, that I didn't share that part that I was also passionate about, because I have hundreds of photos that have been taken all over the world. I've been to like 50 countries so far, so it would be a crime not to try to share that. So
Amazing.
that's the journey I'm going to try to. I will now focus on the on this, but I still have it like it's already nagging in the back of my brain. So I say for now, and maybe that will happen like that next week. The other part of me go like, no, me now. So I'm doing that. So that's possible that you'll see all of a sudden a complete departure from like I will be posting like, oh yeah, this minted that, and then all of a sudden like this, and it'll be like, what happened? Where did that come from? So that is possible that that's gonna happen because I can't stop my personalities from like they deserve it.
Exactly. I mean, my whole thing is like, why am I trying to? I've always been resistant to any kind of programming ever since I was a baby. Like, I was just like,
Yeah.
you guys always tell me to do this one thing, but I just not going to do it. So I was like, you know, I just completely stopped resisting, try to even brand myself or put
Yeah.
myself in one category. But what happened is that like the world caught up. So now with NFTs, you can have a total collection, another collection, other stuff completely unrelated. And since there's not like this limited gallery wall space,
Yeah.
you know, and there's not somebody telling you, you know, that you need to be more
something.
branded and more recognizable, then you can just do that. So it's awesome. Like I actually have cats. Like I just made some cats because I have like my artwork. Like I started selling to corporate collections for like $8,000 for a painting. So I started doing well then. So I was like, oh, you know, while I'm really thinking of how I'm going to create my, oh gosh, my computer is not plugged in. There. Wow,
Yeah.
that was weird. I'm having issues. I need to get a new charger. Okay. Yeah, so you know, like you get to a certain level and you're supposed to like present in this very professional way, but in the meantime, I'm like, oh, I'm making cats and I'm selling for one Tez, which is like $6 or something, just for fun and because I can, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you
It's
know, you
I
can
think
have
it's
your
always
link
about
tree with your 10 different things you're doing and people can check it out.
yeah. So yeah, so it's I my link tree. I'll give you my link tree where there is my Instagram and my Twitter
Yeah,
and
yeah, all of your link tree and your posts will be
yeah.
below.
And there's my 500px gallery, which where I have a couple of things on that.
What's
And
that? What's 500px?
500px is basically a website. It's a photo sharing website,
Okay.
and it used to be big, but like it's kind of dying now. But I still like the space, and it was the same as Flickr was at the beginning. Like Flickr was the one that started the whole thing.
Uh-huh.
Then Yahoo bought it and destroyed it. It still exists, but in a very diminished capacity. And sadly, everything that Yahoo touched was basically just to destroy it. Sorry, not sorry, but yeah, that's what exactly what it did. And then 500px, like it's basically 500 pixels, came around, and it's basically a website where you put your photos and you can have followers, you can follow other people, you can comment, like it's kind of like Instagram, but just more curated, or feels more curated, because usually just people who are serious about photos, like you will not
Okay.
probably see people who will post their breakfast on 500px. So it's more to that sort of taste. So I have a couple of things there. I actually need to I have horrendous backlog of things that I need to upload. So I will upload that. But yeah, otherwise on my Instagram there is like a mix of things there. And yeah, on Twitter you'll see my Twitter. So yeah, it's all in my link tree.
Yeah,
And
so you got to follow her everywhere. And
yes,
is there anything
everyone,
else
follow
you
me
want to
everywhere.
show or anything else you want to talk about or anything else you want to show?
Just yeah. So by the way, if anyone has any questions, put it under the commented. We will reply, tell you things.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yes.
Yeah,
Put
so
all of your questions and don't
yeah.
forget to smash the likes. That really helps. And I
And
didn't
tell us how amazing we are, please.
Yeah,
We need validation. No, we
I
don't.
know, right? Um, also, yeah, this is just like information, but anybody, including yourself, if who sends me a short that's 15 seconds or less, because that's how the YouTube shorts work, I will put it up on my YouTube with your link tree or whatever link or title you want to call it. Because a lot of times YouTube really pushes the shorts, because now TikTok is getting more airtime than YouTube now, which is
Yeah.
huge. I mean, YouTube is huge, and then but TikTok is totally surpassing
Yeah.
it. So when you put shorts up, they really promote it because they're trying to be also TikTok, which they are. So I like the YouTube shorts. So if you ever
Okay.
want to just send me, it's they usually get, sometimes they'll get like thousands of hits, sometimes I won't get 20. Like you just never know like
Okay.
what's gonna hit, because I have a dance channel, and you know, like it's not always the best thing that gets the most hits, but and I've tried to see, is it the color, is it this, like you can't really know exactly how it works, but you know, if it's moving, even if it's a photo, but you could like either do like Ken Burns effect or put music
Yeah.
or talk over it, or take like a little video of a photo so it's moving. So basically that it just likes movement and sound, but
Yeah.
that would be cool too. You can explain also some of your works maybe in 15 seconds, or not only that, you know, advertise like, oh, this is where you can get it, find me, you know, on Eve
Okay,
Lady,
I'll
OpenSea.
try to make something. It's not very good at that. I've never really done anything like that. So,
They don't have to be good, you know. That's what I learned.
well,
Like I have my
well,
dance channel, and
well, I
sometimes I
can
put,
definitely supply not good.
yeah, it doesn't have to be good. Like I'm not, I won't even look at it. Like I will be like, oh, this is good, this is no good, because you put them up and you just let the world decide, because it's really unrelated. Because I have a dance channel that's all shorts, like Shasmine, and it's all shorts, and some of them get 2,000 hits, some of them get 20 hits, and it's not the good ones necessarily that are getting the hit. So I just put, just the more stuff you put out there, the more of the chance that somebody's going to see it.
Yeah, I'll be so bad that it will get trending. Like, what is that
I
thing?
think, you know, I even did one of these dumb things like my face with like cat lips. I don't know, you know, like it really doesn't matter.
Okay.
You can do that. You can put like it's kind of fun because it has the effects. Like you could put the weird effects on it. Like, I mean, whatever you want to do doesn't really matter. But
Okay. Well, I'll
thank you
figure
so much.
something out.
I'm gonna stop the recording, and
Okay.
everybody
Thanks
smash
for
the
listening.
likes. Everybody go collect your work, and you're just on OpenSea.
I'm so far on OpenSea, but I actually want to expand to other Hen, and there's a new one, and I completely forgot the name now. It starts with K.
Calumet.
Calumet, yes.
Yeah, so Hen is Hickennunk, which I
Yeah,
have.
so
That's where I
so
have
yeah,
my
we-
one test stuff on, and then OpenSea.
yeah. So I was
Ethereum.
thinking about Hickennam, Hen, and Calumet. So I think I'm going to do that this weekend. So hopefully, so maybe what I'm going to do is to do the OpenSea do one thing, on Hickennam the other thing, on Calumet another thing, or then I'm gonna mix everything together. I don't know.
Yeah, that's how
Just
I
follow
feel.
me and see what happens, because it's definitely going to be a surprise even for me. So
All right, it was so great talking to you. I'm gonna stop the recording.
great talking to you too. Thank you.